Well, I gotta say, it is truly a beautiful day at Pennington Place. Look at these wonderful cucumbers. Two different kinds that I planted this year. I only had 4 plants, and I have had 4 pickings, and each one is huge like this. Some of these babies are just, it's insane how big they are. Lots of pickles, lots of bread and butters. Okay, so we also got our green squash, our yellow summer squash, horseradish roots, which I need to get some horseradish because I'm doing banana peppers. I picked those today. And then here, Swiss chard, and we've got some beet leaves. A few beets came with it, but I was more after the leaves because we like those. Tomatoes are getting ready to start, so I have to get all this stuff processed, all my peppers and cabbages and everything done before these tomatoes come on, because I'm going to be a busy girl. More Swiss chard, my wax beans, my dragon's tongue, and some broccoli. And half of the beans we actually gave away to friends. We gave them some new potatoes and some beans so that they could have a meal tonight. So this is just today what I picked in the last couple hours. Isn't that insane? Well, I got lots of canning to get started, so I guess I will talk with you later. I might possibly put up a few canning videos just to show you how I preserve all of this wonderful food that we grow, that we've been blessed with. Remember to have a beautiful evening. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all those wonderful things. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Well, it's a beautiful day at Pennington Place. Hey, today we are making sweet pickle relish. This is about 24 pounds of cucumbers, and I have got it all diced up and chopped up in my wonderful Ninja. Now, yes, this is very small, and it took me a while, but I got it. And this is my second batch. The other batch I'm getting ready to put in jars and get in the water bath. So 24 pounds of cucumbers. Then you use, this is what I'm using. I'm using the Mrs. Wages Sweet Pickle Relish. And it says on here, 6 to 8 pounds of pickling cucumbers, 1/4 a cup of canning salt. So what I do is I prepare the cucumbers, and the canning salt, what I do is take, I did a triple batch. So I put 3/4 a cup of the salt, the canning salt, in here. And what I have to do, I mix it up, and I have to let this sit in a cool area, preferably the refrigerator, but I don't have room. So I just turned the air conditioner up in my kitchen. It's pretty cold in here. And then I'll let this sit for 2 hours. And then after this sits, we're going to drain it out. Not rinse it, we're just going to drain it. And then I'll show you what to do from there. I'll be right back. Okay, so it is time to start draining our cucumbers. But I've went ahead and got the mix set up. Okay, like I said, I used the Mrs. Wages, the sweet relish mix. And since I did a triple batch, there's 24 pounds of cucumbers that I have ready there. I used 3/4 a cup of salt to sit my cucumbers in, and that helps just kind of dry things out. So I'm going to drain those. I'll show you how I drain those when I get done putting this on the stove. So in here I have 8 cups of white vinegar. I have 6 cups of sugar and 3 pouches of the Mrs. Wages Sweet Pickle Relish. And if you have not tried this, it's actually very good. I usually don't do well with cucumbers, and I have made all my relish in the past with summer squash, the green summer squash, zucchinis, because I haven't done well with cucumbers. But this year I am so thankful to have the cucumbers to do it with. Zucchini, you can't tell a difference. Maybe a little, but it's still not bad. But anyway, okay, so I've got this ready. I'm going to get it on the stove, and I'm going to get it up to a boil. And while that's up to a boil, I'm going to show you how I drain this. Okay, so for this I have a strainer. Just a normal strainer. And I fill it And you're just going to play with it. If I had 2 hands, I could do it better. By the time I'm done, if you flip it right, see how smooth that gets on top? By the time I'm done, I have a ball. A nice, it's still moist, but it's a nice ball. And this does take a while because there's a lot of juice. Now remember, we're not rinsing this. We've soaked it in the saltwater brine. In the salt brine, and there was no water involved. Sorry about that. Just the salt. And it pulls a lot of moisture out so that you have a thicker relish instead of runny. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Put it in my big pan. Scoop up some more and do the same. It's going to take a little bit, guys. Okay, that one looks pretty good. Still draining a little at the bottom. I'll let it finish draining out. Just let it drain on out. Okay, so we have our solution. It was boiling, so I've taken it off the stove, and I'm going to mix it in with my cucumbers that I just drained. Okay, so this mixture is going to go on top of the stove. I'm going to bring it to a boil, and I'm going to simmer it. Once it boils, I'm going to simmer it for 10 minutes. Before I pack in my jars. That'll give me enough time to get my jars ready and get everything staged so I can just pack and water bath. Okay, so this has simmered for 10 minutes. It's nice and hot. I got my jars ready. I'm going to start filling my jars, getting my lids on. My house smells amazing, guys. I have a cold and it's hard for me to smell a lot right now. But I'm telling you, what I do smell is amazing. Now the last batch I did this size got me about 9 quarts. So I'm assuming this one's going to be 9 quarts too. Or maybe a little less. You know, each cucumber, I may have had the right number of cucumbers, but I don't have a scale, so I didn't actually weigh the cucumbers. I did a rough estimate. Just to see where I was. Okay, I'm going to get these jars filled. Okay, I got the first batch ready. Got them in the jars. That made 9 quarts. Most people do them in pints. I do them in quarts. Just because we do a lot of potato salads and you know, we eat relish on our hot dogs. We do a lot of things with relish, so we do go through a lot. So it made 9. I am going to put this in a water bath. And we are going to do it for 15 minutes. I believe that's what my package said. Let me double check here. Water bath for 15 minutes. Yep. So here we go. I'm going to put them in, and then I'll come back when we start processing the others and take you step by step through how I did this. Okay, so I just want to throw some tips out there for canning when you're water bathing. make sure you have water over your lids. See, I had extras, so I got a smaller pan out, and I'm going to do them. Always make sure that you don't put hot bottles in cold water in your canner. You want them about the same temperature. Otherwise, your jars are going to crack. And that's not fun to clean that mess up. I've learned that. I always put a little bit of vinegar in my water when I water bathe. When I do any canning, I put a little bit of vinegar in my water. That keeps your jars nice and clean and pretty when they come out. You don't have all that scaly stuff from your water, the minerals and stuff from your water all over your jars that you got to scrub off. When you can, I don't go through every single step and show you. You have to boil your lids and your bands. You have to wash your jars in hot soapy water and put them out to dry. You want your jars hot when you fill them. That way, a cold jar with hot fluid, it could crack. Those are little things that you just do. That's a standard. Everyone should do it. And I don't go through all that every time I show you a canning video, because that's a given. We're going to do that. That's a given. Ball recommends it. That's what we do. I just kind of want to show you the basic of canning. Canning is really easy. It is time consuming depending on what you're doing, but most of the time spent is preparing what you want to can. Once it's prepared, getting your brine ready, getting that stuff ready, and getting it in jars and canning it doesn't take long. Meat takes an hour, and some of it's an hour and 30 minutes in a pressure canner at 10 pounds. Not that bad. It's pretty easy to do. You just have to be motivated. You've got to have the courage to say, yes, I can do this. If you can read, you can can. It's as simple as that. So anybody that has any doubts, wash those doubts away, because if you can read and follow directions, you can can. All you got to do is read your ball book or read the back of your Mrs. Wage package, whatever you have. If you don't have a recipe, you go online and you find a recipe, and it'll give you, if you can read the recipe, then you can do it. You just have to follow the steps, and you have to be diligent. I will show you my first batch. I will show you the finished product. Okay, people, finished product. I took this first batch out of the canner, and it was a water bath. Yes, I use my pressure canner to water bathe. I just don't put the lid on. So it's going to sit out here for 24 hours. And once everything's sealed, I'll leave it for another 24 hours. I always leave my jars out for 2 days. I figure after 2 days, if something's not going to seal, then it's not going to seal. And I check them often, believe you me. The first signs that I get, the first suspicions I get that something don't seal, it goes straight to my fridge. Or I use it that day, if it's meat or something. Now, something like this needs to sit at least 48 hours before you actually use it. So once these have sat here a couple days, I'll label the tops with what they are, and I'll date them. I'll take the bands off, and I'll put them in my lovely storage cabinet. This, my friend, is my storage closet for all my canned goods. Michael made shelves for me. It is in my closet, so there's crap in my closet too. But see, all these shelves are usually completely full. Plus I have a small bookshelf completely full. Plus I have it in the kitchen. I have some in the dining room in my cabinets, and I've got canning stuff everywhere. I have a lot of jars right now because last year I didn't can a whole bunch. The gardens didn't do very good. So this year, these shelves are going to be completely full. I've already started. See, there's all my pickles. These are all the pickles I had done. My bread and butters. Here's my banana peppers. There's my dill pickles. I've still got stuff left from last year. I've got spinach. I got to get in here more often. Get some spider web in here. Got potatoes. I've got some tomato sauce, pasta sauce. I even canned. I did this last winter when I bought stuff from FFA. I even canned oranges. Mandarin oranges, because we eat a lot of those. I've got sweet potatoes. I've got Beans. I've got chicken and noodles that I've canned. This is grape juice. See the grapes in there? Open it up, drain the juice off, drink it, and you can eat them grapes or cook with them. It doesn't matter. These are French fries. Potatoes look different because there's a lot of starch when you can them. So these are French fries. I still have some potatoes left from a couple years ago. And they're still good. Everything is still sealed. I've got pineapple. I've got a lot of different things. But what we're going to do is I try to rotate. I try to get the oldest stuff up front and newest stuff in the back. I have no pickles, so my pickles are up front because I haven't been able to do cucumbers. So I am very excited to have tons of pickles. So this is nice. Okay, this is pear sauce. I made pear sauce last year. This is the chicken that I just canned in the gravy. So there are big chunks of chicken in there with the gravy. You know, you add some vegetables, put in some rice, and there you go. You've got a meal. Or put it in a big crock pot, grab you some noodles, boom, you're done. And this is the beef. Now see, I forgot to put vinegar in my water when I did these. Look at that jar. See, I really should wash that jar. And I'll probably come in here and get them all washed off. Because I don't like that either. I like to see everything I've got. So, that's my storage. Some of it anyway. The biggest part of it. When I tell the daughter, you know, hey, can you go get me some relish? Or hey, can you go get me some jelly? She knows exactly where to go. And she can usually find it. Jelly goes up here in the smaller jars. So that's strawberry. I've got a lot of rhubarb. I didn't label my rhubarb though because one year we had tons of rhubarb, so I did rhubarb jellies. And I got tons of that left still. I've even done chicken on the bone. There it is. It's beautiful. Got a little bit of fat on top. So if you can imagine it, you can do it. Self-sufficiency is a pretty awesome thing. It makes you feel pretty good. I even, oh my gosh, let me grab this. Guess what that is? That is sliced green tomatoes. You can can them with some vinegar and some water, some salt, and guess what? Middle of winter, you want some fried green tomatoes, you open them up, them things are still hard. They fry up beautifully. You just take them out of the fluid, you dry them off with a paper towel, you coat them with whatever you coat it, and then you fry them. They are so amazing. So even at the end of the year when we have tomatoes that haven't turned red, we don't let them go to waste. I can them. And we have green fried tomatoes. I also have a recipe for green tomato pie, which is a lot like apple pie. The green tomatoes don't have as much flavor and they're firmer, so they kind of resemble apple as far as texture and everything. So I use those and I make like a mock apple pie with green tomatoes. My daughter can tell a difference because she hates tomatoes. I can't imagine someone in this family hating tomatoes, but she does. But we love them, so we love the pies. So, well, that's my stash, and that's some of what I've been doing, putting up cucumbers and having lots of fun. I do that on my days off, always. Okay, well, this has been a great time. I hope you've enjoyed. Don't forget to like, to comment, to subscribe, share, whatever. You know the drill. Hope you have a beautiful evening. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.